Well, my goodness. Welcome back, guys, to the NRB. Troy Brewer coming at you strong from big time, Nashville, Tennessee. In the midst of talking to everybody, you knew I would have some radical Israelis here with me today. You knew that had to happen. I never do interviews that I don't interview somebody. And, they're all crazy, all of them. I'm about to actually prove my point to you guys. I want you guys to meet Yair Pinto and Mati... Shoshani, that's an easy one.
Close enough. He kind of butchered like both of our names, but we'll take it.
That.
We'll take it.
I said that better than y'all say it. It's good to have you guys with me. It's your country.
We'll go with it.
Thanks,
it's good to be here, and I know you guys have guns all on you all the time, so whatever you want to call me, I'll take it.
Well, they wouldn't let us carry ours.
Listen, you're safe.
That's
but before I film, I always have to put my phone on silent and my guns on safety. That's what I have to do. I actually tell my church that every Sunday. I say, all right, guys, y'all put your phones on silent and your guns on safety, and it just makes sense.
Yeah, not to get too excited, started shooting in the air.
Well, no, it's not that I'm not saying I won't ever be shot, but I am saying it won't be from lack of shooting back. I promise you.
That's good.
Yeah, that's it ain't gonna be no lack of shooting back.
My goal about personal arm is not to shoot myself in the leg.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Above that, everything is good.
High standards.
Very high standards. Okay. So guys, these guys are boots on the ground Israeli journalists with Trinity Broadcasting Network Israel, who report from the front lines of the world's most volatile region. They are in the thick. They are in the mess. And I praise God for your ministry, man.
Thank you.
And for your reporting, man. All right. You ready to do this?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let me show you how hard this is. What do you wish I would ask you?
Well, why does Mati not have hair?
Yeah, well, we know the answer to
I
that.
can tell you. The answer is simple.
What?
Too much Jewish genes. Working with Samuel Smadja. I hope this gets on. Working with TBN. I'm just kidding. But listen, to your point,
yes.
I wish you would ask us. I'm all about like information and understanding, and I wish more people would ask the question of like, what is it that people don't get, and what do they really not get about what's happening?
Yep.
And the answer to that, in my mind, it's a hugely positive one. They don't get the positive, God's faithfulness in this land. They don't get the complexity, the relationships, the history, and all that stuff. They don't get the biblical. What we try to do, and I don't say this lightly, is to try to make it available for people to understand, not just that it's not just a transfer of information, it's the biblical context of that information, the spiritual significance of it, but also a compassion and a care that should be synonymous with people that are followers of Christ, and not just, here's information, feel angry about it, feel emotional about it. Well, like a deeper understanding about those kind of things. In my mind, someone can walk away from a conversation or video we created, and if they're young, like I was, think maybe I don't know everything about the world. Not currently young.
Now you do know everything about the world.
No, now I know I don't know anything about the world.
Okay.
As you age. Or if they're older, say maybe there's more information, more revelation, more understanding that I haven't had yet. I'd say that would be a huge win for me.
What? Okay.
I would say, ask me, why should Christians stand with Israel?
All right, so let me ask you. I have a question for you. I've been thinking, I did a lot of research, and I've been thinking about what can I possibly ask you. I know. Hey, you tell me, why should Christians stand with Israel?
So, that's an amazing question,
Thank you.
I
thank you. I came up with that.
You really tackled me with this one. So, I'm thinking that we need to go back to the roots, okay? What was Israel's purpose in biblical time? How did God use Israel, okay? So, he picked the most stubborn people around the world that do not follow him in order to make a point.
Yes.
That it's not about us. People of Israel are not special. We, the Jewish people, are stubborn. We are not faithful. And despite of all of that, God is still faithful to his promises.
So faithful.
For thousands of years. So if you go to delivering us from being slaves in Egypt, bringing us into the Holy Land, then the rebirth of the nation of Israel after 2,000 years. And now you also see that despite being attacked by 7 different terror nations, terror states, rockets, missiles, the Houthis in Yemen, whoever heard about them before they started launching attacks against us, okay? We are still here, thriving, the economy of Israel is doing great, and it's all a testimony to the world that our God is a faithful God against all odds. And it's encouraging to our viewers, to everybody around the world, that whatever you're going through, whatever you're struggling with, if God is faithful to these guys, he'll be faithful to you. Okay?
Yeah.
So be encouraged. And whenever you need any boost, that God is here performing biblical level miracles in modern days, open the news, go to our YouTube channel, check it out. You know, interception of thousands of rockets, drones, I mean, multiple terrorist states, we are still here. God is still working. He has a plan, and he's faithful.
Come on. That's a
Oh.
good answer, man.
Can I add another thought? I love what Yair said, which I think is something that people need to deal with on their own, which is coming to terms with needing to be afraid in life and needing to experience pain in life. I think one of my biggest lessons going to this war, I remember like I did 8 months in reserves, like the first shot of the war from like October 7th through the end of May 2024, the following year. First time in. And we gathered all the commanders and, of the battalion. They said, what are you taking home from this, first round? And I looked around the table. I said, every last one of us needs to remember that we were given a chance in our life to rethink everything, to deal with the deepest fears, with the deepest concerns, with the deepest doubt we've ever lived through. And we got to walk through it in victory. Know that we've been victorious as a country, as a people, that God has been with us, and walk through with that lesson for life. And I think we walk through life with this, myself included, this despise or disdain of fear and discomfort, of wanting to be in a place of uncertainty. And we were given, bucket loads of that in Israel, of the fear and uncertainty and the doubt and stuff like that. And then it was given to us, it galvanized us in the understanding of this is why we're here. This is what God has done for us. But it's not enough to know it on a story level. It has
You
to
have
be
to experience it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I ask people all the time. I tell people it's one of my life messages is you better own the impact. You better take responsibility for what impacts you and is supposed to change you.
Yeah.
And we also, anyway, I actually just preached on that here just a week ago. So it goes right in line with what you're saying. I love that. All right, so now it's my turn. Quid pro quo. Why don't you ask me, are you Jewish? And if not, why do you support Israel?
Okay, so are you Jewish?
No, I'm not. I actually did.
Are you sure?
Did,
Did you do a DNA test?
Sure?
I did, and I thought it would come up I'm a secret Jew. And what it came up was 0. 0, but it also came up point something 3 Nigerian. That's a big secret in our family. I promise you that. But it explains a lot. It really does. It explains a lot. So I was like, wow, there's a big secret in our family. I promise you. But no, I thought it would just spike. I thought I'd go, I knew it. I knew. No, not even a blip. I'm a 6th generation Texan. I'm a 16th generation American.
Ooh, wow.
My people were here from the very beginning in Jamestown. One of the original mayors of Jamestown, the founding city, right? He was a brewer, and I'm a direct descendant of 16 generations ago. My people have always been from the far north in Europe, and then here. And so so why would I support Israel?
Why? Yeah, what's the connection? It's a tiny state, all the way 20 hours flight from here. Why?
Yeah, well, I want to tell you why. Because when I got saved, I wasn't churched. Okay, I didn't grow up in church, and when I got saved, I opened up the Bible, and I went, okay, and I didn't even know how to study the Bible, so I just went, I'm just going to read it and just see what it says. I started with the book of John. From John, I went to Matthew. And my conclusion was Jesus is Lord and Jesus was a Jew. And there's no way that I can be loyal to Jesus without supporting my Jewish brothers and sisters.
Well said.
And it just was simple to me.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, since I'm such a Texan, I'm a big time freedom guy. I love freedom. And I mean, it's the only bastion of freedom within all of the Middle East.
Exactly.
There is nobody like Israel. Nobody. And I understand that. I understand history. I understand geopolitics. I've been to 61 nations. I travel the world. I rescue kids out of sexual trafficking. That's what I do. And for people to say that they love freedom, but they don't love Israel is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's a no-brainer for me. It's very easy for me.
Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure you've been following what's been going on in the U.S. It's called the U.S. Republican right wing. There's this bizarre shift that's been happening.
Yep.
Suddenly people who've been reading the Bible have been pro-Israel for decades. Now they're not sure if anti-Semitism is good or bad. Suddenly they're not sure, like, have you heard about this cool new thing called replacement theology, where the Jews are no longer called to be saved or part of God's plan? And I'd like to ask you, you lead a lot of people, you influence a lot of people. Where is that coming from? And I'd say, more importantly, what can be done to stop that tidal wave in the young generation?
It's not enough to love a political movement. You have to love the truth. And there are a lot of people that love the raw of the right-wing thing that they're involved in, but they still don't love the truth. They answer to a mob, and as soon as something is injected into the mob, then the whole mob starts to say it. Jesus calls that the leaven of Herod. He says, beware the leaven of the Pharisees and beware the leaven of Herod. Herod is what happens inside the Beltway of Washington, D.C. It's what happens whenever somebody moves there and suddenly they start to change. Well, they get infected by this virus that is not the truth. Yeah. And there has been a huge political move within the United States. There's been huge infiltration from left-wing people that have been introducing these ideas by paying people money. And then the influencers are taking the money, not thinking that they are supporting a left-wing thing, but they're actually go, oh, this is controversial, so it will make lots and lots of people watch me, and they jump in and they open their traps, and then people follow them blindly. There are those people who love the truth. The truth is the answer, because those things are not true. Replacement theology is not new. It is demonic. It's been around for a long, long time. It has been responsible for the death of people. It has been responsible for the displacement of people, and people actually thought that that was a form of Christianity. It was never a form of Christianity. It was a form of demonic control within the church. You want me to keep going?
Oh, yes. it's always wait. Yeah, I have also an interesting point into it to ask you. So they are using half-truths, it seems, because they are quoting the Bible, but parts of it, not giving the big picture. So if you look at it and you're a Christian, it seems like, yeah, this is what the Bible is saying. I mean, how can you battle that at a time where you have 30 seconds to make an impact?
Listen, misquoting scripture is what religion really does.
That's right.
You need faith to really understand this.
Not just religions, it's what the devil did. Also in front of Jesus when he tested him in the desert and when he took him to the top of the temple. He quoted
it's what the serpent
Bible
did to Adam.
Exactly.
It's the whole thing. So, okay, God said this, but did he really say that? What he didn't tell you the whole truth. You're discovering a new kind of truth. And that whole thing has been around from the very, very, very beginning. For Tucker Carlson to come out, and I have always loved Tucker. I've always followed him. I've always been like, go Tucker, let's go.
Yeah.
And then the brother twisted off. And to show you how deceived he is, for Tucker Carlson to say Sharia law is not a bad thing. It's really not. It's actually a good thing. For him to say that Islam is a religion of peace, that he's looked into it, tells me he's being paid off, tells me he's disingenuous, tells me he's either been brainwashed and he's ignorant, or else he's being paid off and is being on purpose.
You know he's not ignorant. That's the alarming thing. We know he's a smart person. His television persona does not reflect his level of intelligence or knowledge. The man is a master of words. The man is a master of perception shaping. Let's put it that way. And it can be used for truth, and it can be used for let's call it devilish and diabolical deception, which is what he's been doing. We just watched an interview of him the other day in Jordan, trying to coax an Israeli Arab Christian pastor to talk about the persecution. Do you see this? No. Persecution of the Christians in Israel. And the guy sits there looking at him as like, are you an idiot? and he's like, what? He couldn't understand what he was going for. I was like, well, tell me about the persecution of the Christians. Tell me about what Israel is doing to the Christians. And the guy sits there looking at Tucker, and he didn't understand what he was trying to get. It's like, there is no persecution. No, we're fine. No. And again, so I don't think it's not negligence. It's not mediocrity. He's a man who's a master craftsman of words, and he chose to spread lies. And I look at that and I say it's or the work of the devil, or the work of the devil's let's call it representatives, through radical Islam, through the countries that are coming to corrupt, and people succumb to that. And then the sheep of population, they do what's comfortable, and they do what's easy, and they do what doesn't hurt, which is sort of go with the flow, spread, the vitriol and the hatred and the small-minded thoughts and stuff like that. And that's always been there. That's not new. That's
not new.
That's not new. It's the people that need to stand up to it that seem to be missing from the conversation.
So I don't know that a lot of Christians really understand because they have such shallow understanding biblically.
How so?
But what's real is, this is what's real. You cannot separate the plan of redemption. You cannot separate the reality of Jesus Christ from Jerusalem and from Israel, which means the Jewish people. The first covenant that God ever made with these human beings was, I will be your king. We believe as Christians that Jesus will come back again and keep his covenant with Israel as king. Now, we certainly believe in the covenant that we have with Jesus through salvation by faith, but we also believe that when he comes back as king, that all of Israel shall be saved. You cannot separate those. He's not coming back to Fort Worth, Texas. He's coming back to Jerusalem, Israel.
Amen to that.
And for us to be against the people, the land, and the government, and that's where it gets foggy for a lot of people. Well, you got to agree with everything in the government. No, you do not. I don't agree with everything in the government of the United States.
It's like I am and Mati are just two people. We don't agree on like a million things.
Of
like
course.
in Israel, you have 10 Jews, a million opinions.
That's crazy. And so I get it. I love truth. I love Jesus. I love Israel, and the Lord can count on me in these last days to not be movable when it comes to these things. And my job in pastoring a church, my job in having influence, is to make sure that other people are well equipped to not be movable when some of our heroes just twist off. I'm not going to.
I think that's the key point, what you just said, which is when you're pastoring, a lot of people focus on the numbers. We want to convert people. We want the numbers of the saved. We're not called to do that. We're called to disciple people.
That's right.
And discipleship takes time, takes transformation, takes grit to really create. And that really answers all the questions, because the answer to superficial Christianity isn't to tell superficial Christians stop being superficial. It's to create people of depth and of substance.
Yeah, you don't even want to get me started on that.
Oh, yeah, I do want to get you started.
You don't want to get me started.
It's the way to deal with human weakness and societal weakness. It's to create strong people, not to scold them for being weak. It's to create strength and depth and substance in those people and give them a meaning and something to fight for. Then you don't have to deal with the superficiality.
No, again, you go to the point of like, people need to really research and know, and it's a hard time because we are busy, and then it's easier to just, get these sound bites of things. But this is not what God is looking from us. He wants a personal relationship.
That's right.
And that takes time, that takes efforts, it takes quiet time. I know it's hard for me because I'm like hyperactive all over the place, and then God wants, okay, stop with that and just let me speak to you, and you need to build that muscle.
No, but
and then God also can use that and tell you what's right and what's wrong.
He wants to be tested. God wants to be tested. He says, test me to see if I'll be faithful. And it's not just about, I think people lose sight of this. It's not, does Yair feel good? Does Mati feel good? Does Troy feel good? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? It's not,
I agree.
It's not about individuals.
2,000%.
It's like God says, test me, will I send my blessing? Will I be faithful?
Yes.
Will I work through a nation? Will I shape history? And in that, there'll be suffering, there'll be trial, and there'll be difficulty, and all that stuff, all the good and the bad of humanity. But God will show his faithfulness through a group of people. And people don't want to test him. They don't know, they feel the wishy-washy, warm stuff. They don't feel the real deal of being his followers. I think we're blessed in Israel of having the external pressure, the fear, the external enemies that we have to keep us focused on the fact that, one, we need God. We can't do it on our own. Two, that receiving the gift that God has given us requires sacrifice and fighting for. I think that's an amazing gift that we have.
Friends, I am talking with two journalists with Trinity Broadcasting Network who are actually on the front lines. And I want to ask you guys, I have a minute left. How can people follow you? How can people watch what you do? How can we get plugged in?
So we do daily news on the ground, and it's called Boots on the Ground.
Boots on the ground.
Literally, because it all started when both of us were in the IDF. I was inside Gaza, Mati was in Judea and Samaria, on the border with Lebanon, throughout basically 2 years. And we've been sharing the truth of what's happening, and the purpose of that is that people around the world will know how to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, but not just in like this mystical place, oh, Jerusalem, practically for the people, for the challenges, for the hearts, for God's will for the people of Israel. And that's what we're doing every single day on TBN Israel, on YouTube, and we also do it on our social media platforms, Yair Pinto and Mati Shoshani. If you want to help pronunciations, it's on the screen. I know it's hard to pronounce our names.
That's good, man. Well, I want you guys to know that I've been in Israel for a long time. We rescue kids. We rescue women from trafficking in Israel. We have a food bank. We build bomb shelters all over the nation.
Thank you.
We do a big work down in Ashkelon. I love Ashkelon, and I love that part of the world down there. We have a soup kitchen. We have a ministry for drug addicts because we love the Jewish people.
Thank you for doing that.
And we've been there for a long time, and we're never going to go away. We never are.
Thank you. We should go visit
Israel now.
We should go visit the kitchens. I like.
Yeah,
I like,
man, you
I
would
like
love
to
it.
eat.
You would love it, man. You absolutely would love it. Well, friends, I encourage you guys to plug into these guys, follow them, pray for them, bless them, support them. Go to their YouTube channel, TBN Israel, and be looking for boots on the ground. All right, friends, I am going to tell you now in form of a video of a little boy that we recently rescued, and his name is Daniel. Watch this. So I have like some amazing rescuers throughout the world, and I'm talking about extraordinary, crazy people that do amazing things. One of these guys, one of my all-time favorites, is this old dude from Los Angeles, California, who is, well, his name's Johnny Lightning. He always brings me kids. Every time I go to the Nation of Belize, he brings me kids, and he's totally amazing. His little house that he lives on is literally on a trafficking trail in the jungle. And as they traffic human beings through the jungle, he sits out on his porch and gives food to the traffickers and to the kids and eyeballs them and sees if there's any that he can actually rescue. But the ones that are special needs or they're high maintenance, he typically is like, hey, let me take this person off your hands, and they typically will give them to him, which means we have to take care of those kids. That kind of work has brought him into this incredible work throughout the Nation of Belize where people know, hey, if you have a special needs child, get a hold of Troy Brewer Ministries and get a hold of Johnny Lightning. So Johnny Lightning brings this little boy to me, and I go walking down this plank, and I come into this room, and Johnny Lightning is there with a mama and a daddy, a 15-year-old brother, and then this little boy, and this little boy's name is Daniel. Daniel is different because Daniel does not have a leg, and not only does Daniel not have a leg as he's sitting in this wheelchair, but he literally does not have a hip. From his belly button over has been removed, and I've never seen that before. I've seen kids missing limbs all over the planet. I'd never seen that, and I'm like, so what's going on? Well, Daniel has cancer. Not having choices, not having doctors, and somebody ended up doing surgery on this kid, and they didn't even know it was a thing. The parents didn't know he might come out without a leg. No, they said they were going to do like exploratory surgery, and when he came out, the little boy was missing his leg. He was also missing one whole side of his hip. One whole entire side of the entire side of his body that was his right hip is gone. And they said, yeah, he's going to die, and they sent him home. Like, why would you remove his leg? Why would you mutilate his body like that if you just decided he was going to die anyway? The parents were telling me this, and he cries and cries and cries. Please take me to the river and just drown me, Dad. So I asked this little boy, I said, hey man, it's Christmas. What do you want? I'll give you anything you want, man. What do you want? And he said, I want chicken. And then I said, what else, man? There's gotta be something else besides fried chicken I could get you. And he said, I want a leg. So where he lives at, there's a big wall that divides his house and the very school ground where this little boy has run and played with all of his friends his entire life. And he sits in the backyard, and even from his bedroom, he can sit in his wheelchair or lay in his bed, and he can hear his friends on the other side of the wall. So I asked Johnny Lightning, what do we got to do? And he's like, he's already on the list, but the problem is he's at the very bottom of the list. To take him from the bottom of the list to the top of the list, you got to pay $7,500. And I told him, okay, done. let's pay that. We're done. So we started looking up the leg, and it could be as much as $70,000. You know, he doesn't have a hip. I don't know what they're going to attach it to. I don't know how he could possibly stand. And here's what I want to say is it doesn't matter. We have to have a sense of urgency when we come across these kids to make a tremendous difference, or else they don't know that Jesus has come to them and that the kingdom has come to their house. When I say that we rescue kids, this is not a kid that's being trafficked. This is a kid that just needs our help in the midst of all the kids that have been trafficked. So friends, I want to ask you, will you please stand with me and help me help kids like Daniel all over the world? I mean, this is real, this is who we are, this is what we do, and I'm inviting you to come and be a part of it. If you stand with me, there are so many other Daniels out there, and in the midst of saving kids that are being trafficked, we also come across so many kids that are just caught up in the same line of poverty, and you can make a great big difference. Simply go to troybrewer.com and click on the giving tab and say, I'm going to give. If you would like to give by phone or if you'd like to give by mail, what's real is you can just call us. Call 877-413-0888. Again, it's 877-413-0888. Or you can write a check to Troy Brewer Ministries at this address that is right here. You know what? I know that there's going to be a better testimony, and I'm so happy that you're going to be a part of it.